Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Your name?
Ali Eltai.
Ali Eltai. And what will you be reciting today?
Inshallah, I'm going to do a lecture on Sayyida Zaynab alayhi salam.
Okay, lecture on Sayyida Zaynab alayhi salam. Ali, can you teach me, I gather you're raised in London, how exactly are you developing your skills as a lecturer? When did it begin? Because I noticed you spoke about Noor and Al-Kisa and all these groups. Can you just give me a brief background of this development?
So I think I joined this club, AKY, Ashab al-Kisa Youth, big up to them, honestly. And since then, they've been teaching fiqh, aqa'id, akhlaq, and tafsir of the Quran, and seerah of the Prophet as well.
Nice.
And since then, we've been holding many ceremonies on walad. It can be a shahada. And, you know, since I'm a member of there, they tell me to do a lecture. And
Brilliant.
Since I do a lecture, and there are many who come. For example, Sheikh Ayub Rashid, one time, he came and he gave me feedback. And since then, I've been, you know, doing lectures again and again and again and improving myself. And actually, you're my role model.
God bless.
I've been listening to you since I was a little kid.
Thank you. God bless you. Okay, you win.
What?
You're taking me as a role model. I got to give you full marks. God bless. You've chosen Sayyida Zaynab as a topic. Why?
Because we see in her life, she has many hardships, how she dealt with trials from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Okay, interesting. Let's welcome you with a loud salawat, inshallah.
Can I have a second salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad? بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي ثم الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين حبيب إله العالمين أبي القاسم مصطفى محمد وعلى آل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين قال الله في محكم كتابه الكريم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن مع العسر يسرا صدق الله العلي العظيم. Sayyida Zaynab alayhi salam lived a life of difficulty, a life with many trials and tribulations from Allah Azza wa Jal. She lived through the death of her grandfather Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and then the death of her mother Fatimah al-Zahra alayhi salam, and then her father Imam Ali alayhi salam, and then Sayyida Shababi Ahl al-Jannah, Imam Hussein and Hussein alayhi salam. When she was asked in the palace of Ibn Ziyad about the circumstances regarding Karbala, what did she say? She replied, "Ma ra'aytu illa jamila." I saw nothing but beauty. What are some of the lessons that we can learn from Sayyida Zaynab alayhi salam? Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. The first lesson we can learn from Sayyida Zaynab alayhi salam is to never give up. All throughout her life, she was spreading and defending the message of Islam, even if she witnessed the whole of the Ashab al-Kisa being martyred. On a Monday, she would do tafsir of the Holy Quran. On a Tuesday, she would do tajweed of the Holy Quran. And on Wednesday and Thursday, she would teach aqa'id and fiqh of Islam. Whether you're going through hardship, whether you have assignments coming up, whether you're going through a family situation, whether you see tax bills due, any hardship that you're going through, just know that Sayyida Zaynab alayhi salam went through worse and she overcame it. And that means you can overcome it as well. A second lesson we can learn from Sayyida Zaynab alayhi salam is that to view the world in a different perspectives. The companions of Aba Abdullah al-Hussein saw Karbala as a tragedy. However, Sayyida Zaynab alayhi salam saw this as beautiful. How? Because she saw that 1400 years later, there'll be millions of men and women women mourning the calamity of Karbala. She saw millions of men and women who have true faith and taqwa in Islam. She saw an annual miracle. Name me any other religion than Islam that has at least 20 million followers going on a pilgrimage or going to a holy shrine. Islam is the only religion. She teaches us to view a difficulty as an opportunity to grow yourself, to boost your confidence, to be better humans, to be a better slave of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When that day, when your test comes, you own that day. Because she teaches us that there is no such thing as weakness. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وآل الطيبين الطاهرين.
Muhammad, Hassan, come. You okay? Sayyidina, I'd love to go through straight away.
Okay, Ali, well done. Well done. I love the movement. You literally controlled the stage. That was really cool. You didn't just stay in one place. You were ready to move around and you took advantage of the space. I love the fact that you related it to today. That you said, for example, that there are people who face expensive costs in their life, bills to pay. It may sometimes bring about difficulties with their mental health, may put them in a dilemma in certain aspects of their life. But look at Sayyida Zaynab alayhi salam and the hardship that she faced. So that was nice. There was a lovely line that you said where we can look at difficulty and turn it into opportunity. That was a really wonderful line. I absolutely love that. Really well done on that. But there are certain points in which you can improve, and I'm sure you will improve. We all continue to improve. I continue to improve and learn things every day. If I look, for example, at the verse that you quoted, ideal verse, but you never once touched upon it in 5 minutes. Inna ma'al usri yusra is a great verse for us to look at how, with difficulty comes ease. But the question is, with Sayyida Zaynab alayhi salam, what ease came after the difficulty? That you would need to elaborate upon, because sometimes these ayahs that you hear speakers bring at the beginning, such as, you'll always hear amma ba'ad and then a verse being quoted. The idea is somewhere in the lecture, you're either gonna give a full tafsir of the verse, or you might just mention it somewhere in the middle. You didn't do any of these, and I think it would have been good for you had you done it, but I'm sure in the future you will. You said the companions of Abu Abdullah alayhi salam saw the world as a tragedy, whereas Zaynab saw a vision from it. I actually think they saw pretty much the same vision as each other. Otherwise, they could not be one united force. They had the same vision, and that was a vision that, our stand today will help. You said she saw annual miracle. No, she established an annual miracle. She didn't see the annual miracle, but she established an annual miracle. Vocabulary, my dear brother, will continue to get better as you go along. All of us, our eloquence gets better as we develop and we mature. So don't worry about that. I was waiting for an unbelievable punchline conclusion. Remember one thing, remember two things when it comes to lectures. The two things are, number one, people like a lecture if it agrees with their opinion. The second thing is, people remember the last points of your lecture, not necessarily the first points of your lecture. And so with you, your conclusion had to be the moment that you took over this. But I just noticed at the end, it's as if it was like, oh, okay, I think my time's up. Okay, no, what I wanted from you is some sort of conclusion. Oh, Yazid, however hard you try, you'll never obliterate our love and our memory from the hearts of the people. You people are all witnesses to this today, that you sit here in London remembering the lady that is known as Zaynab. That conclusion, I think, would have taken you up a number of levels. But these are things you'll continue to develop. I rate you for your bravery in taking such a good topic. Well done, young man. Well done.
Ahsan. Mona Nazar, تفضلوا.
MashaAllah, Ali, very beautiful performance, very controlled and beautiful actually. I believe that your parents are very proud of you. And I believe that our community needs someone like you in the future. You have very bright future. Just as Sayyid Ammar said, the ending wasn't very professional. You could make conclusion, then go to the end.
Believe you me, if I could just add, Mullah Nazar.
I wrote it, yeah?
If I could just add to what you said, believe you me, it takes me sometimes months just to connect my final point to Karbala. Months. So I could prepare a lecture that will take me, 80% of the lecture take me months, but that last part, how do I connect my final point to the musibah? So it will take you and you will develop it. Don't worry about it. But Mullah Nazar is absolutely right. That is probably the area that's going to make the most difference to your lectures. So try and develop that, inshallah.
Inshallah. Sayyid Mason, any words?
Sayyida Mar has already dropped so many gems that I don't know what to add. But I wonder, because we mentioned that you made use of the stage and you were moving around, but in a majlis setting, there's only a mimbar and you're not allowed to move. Do you think that would hinder the way you're reciting or your speech? Normally, are you on a stage like this? When you're, I think, what did you say? You were at Ashab al-Qissa Youth. In those gatherings, are you walking around and talking, or are you sitting on a mimbar?
Some of the gatherings I have a stage like this.
Yeah.
But most of them, where it's like a very huge crowd, is only one member, yeah.
Okay.
But
because as a Noha reciter, I like to be standing. I like to be moving around a little bit, not sitting. So it would affect me. Same way when we're on the phone, I cannot talk to someone while I'm sitting down. I have to be walking around and talking. So that's something that, if you're sitting on the mimbar, learn how to sit on the mimbar and practice your speech there as well, because I think that's the normal setting where you're going to be reciting most of these speeches. Also, some minor points I wanted to point out was that when you're talking, sometimes it feels a little mumbled, so it wasn't too articulate for me. I was having a hard time trying to understand you. I don't know if that's because I'm trying to understand your accent as well, because I have a US accent, but yeah, the British accent, but some of it felt a little rushed, and maybe you can improve on that.
Fantastic. So Jalal, before we go on to our special guest.
Ali Ta'i, beautiful performance overall. I really enjoyed when you start your lecture with that part with melody. It was as-salam. One thing it could be in your lecture. That was nice because you started with a bit of melody. Nice. I enjoyed that part. And another thing, when you actually made your question, you stopped, you said salawat. That's very good because you let us to think about your question. That was a very good point. And another thing, just asking you if you go, inshallah, in any other places, you give the verses of the Holy Quran, but you didn't say which surah, which chapter. You didn't mention inna ma'al usri yusra, which chapter is, in which surah is, and what number is. Yeah, you didn't mention this. Either it is Quran or any other thing could be, or for example, hadith. But this was Quran, definitely. And then another thing, did you memorize your speech or no? You just maneuvering?
Bullet points or in your mind, or was it a full memorization of the lecture?
Some of the lecture I memorized it.
Some of them you memorized, and some of them you were actually just doing it now, yes?
Yeah.
So it's better to work on the actually articulating, not the memorization, because you memorize some part, but not the whole thing, yes? Overall, it was very good. Thank you very much.
Okay,
thank you.
Fantastic. And lastly, we'll go to our special guest, Brother Shabir.
MashaAllah, amazing performance. Sayyida Mar has given fantastic critical feedback to you. Just a couple of things that I want to say to give you more encouragement. The first thing was, whenever I look at a public speaker, I look at their eyes, and your eyes were darting all around the room, and you looked at everybody right in the eyes. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that there's a temptation when you're told you've got 5 minutes to try and cram everything into that 5 minutes. And you actually used pauses, you actually did a salawat in the middle of your performance to try and let people absorb what you've said. So your use of time was very good as well. So keep up the good work, and inshallah you have a great future ahead of you.
Inshallah. Inshallah.
Well done.
Guys, put your hands together for Ali Eltai.